Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name's Alaina, and today I'm going to be doing a full face of makeup that will last all night long with products that I absolutely love. So if you're interested in this video, just keep on watching. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my Too Faced Hangover Primer. If you want your makeup to last all night long, no matter where you go, what you do, this primer is one of my holy grail products. I mean, I don't like too many Too Faced products, but this one really stuck out to me because it makes my makeup last forever. Especially if I pair this on top of a foundation like the one that I'm about to go in with, the L'Oreal Infallible. It'll just last forever. So I'm gonna go in with probably about 2 pumps. And I'm really just gonna blend this into the skin. You wanna make sure that your skin is soaking up all of this product and that you're giving it time to just settle before you go on top with your foundation. And I really do blend it down my neck because you're also going to be putting foundation there. So next I'm going to be taking my Wet Beauty sponge. This is the Real Techniques sponge. I think this compares to the Beauty Blender and it's cheaper because you can get this at the drugstore. And I'm just going to be going in with my L'Oreal Infallible, and right now I'm in between shades because I've been fake tanning my body. I'm going to be mixing shades 470 and 430. So I'm just going to go in and shake it up, and you put it on the back of your hand. And make sure to get some down your neck also, because we do not want to have one of those lines that shows that your foundation isn't actually the color of your skin tone. So I always start down by my jawline just to make sure that I don't have a line of foundation where it starts and where it ends. I really just want everything to be blended and seamless. So I always start there, and then I'll move on to the face. And you can tell that this foundation does not actually match my skin tone, but I'm matching my arms and my legs because I like to fake tan my body and leave my face bare. So my face is always a little bit lighter than the rest of my body, and I just match my foundation to my fake tan on my body. Okay, so now that the powder, foundation, and concealer are all laid down on my face the way that I like it, I'm going to go in with contour. This is a very crucial step, especially if you're going for that full glam makeup look, because this can either make you or break you. You have to go in with a very light hand, and keep in mind that you're trying to make a shadow underneath your cheekbones. Alright, so I'm going to be going in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit. This is for light to medium skin tones. I'm going to be mixing these 2 shades right down here. And that's just because when I mix these 2 shades, it makes the perfect color for my skin tone. You might have to do something different for yours. Just play around with it. It's makeup. Everybody's different. So, alright, so I'm going to be taking this small tapered brush, and it picks up product directly in the middle without getting very much on the outer edges. So it makes it perfect to go right into your contour line without spreading the product all around your face and getting muddy very quickly. So I'm going to be going in and just taking a little bit of these 2 shades, tapping my brush off, and going in. You always want to start off with a lighter hand and then get darker gradually. You don't want to go in and really dip your brush in and just slap it on. You want to make sure that you're actually taking your time and blending it out, and that's what's going to give you that perfect seamless contoured look. And I just take it directly in the middle, and then once the product is placed down on my contour line, that's when I start to blend around the edges. I'm not blending so that I can move the product up. I'm blending just so that it's not a very harsh line on my face. And then I just blend it around my forehead, and I make sure that I'm blending everything out. And the dark colors bring in your face. So if you want to create a shadow or make your forehead look smaller, you really just need to blend around the edges and make sure that everything is nice and seamless. Okay, and I am going to bring this contour down on my jawline just because I don't have a very pronounced jawline. So by bringing this contour underneath it, it's going to create a shadow and it's going to make me look like I have a more sharp jawline. If you are uncomfortable about your jawline and you already have a very, very sharp pronounced jawline, you don't in any way need to do this. Makeup is for each individual person. You use it how you want to. So I'm just going to go under and carve out my jawline with this shade. Now you don't want to bring this too high up because that can make you look like you have a 5 o'clock shadow, and you don't want it to be too far down where you can see it on your neck. You want it to be directly under your jawline, and you need to follow the curve of your actual jaw. See how I'm bringing that color right up under there and really blending everything out. And you don't need very much, a little bit goes a long way, and you can already tell the difference of how my jawline looks a lot sharper than it did before. And I just make sure that everything is really, really blended. And just blend everything out. Now that we're done with that, we're gonna go in with a nose contour. And I like to use a angled brush, and this brush picks up product all over the center of it, and it's very small and it's angled so that it's perfect to get right up on the line of your nose without bringing the product down. The farther down you bring your product on your nose, it's gonna make it look wider, versus if you bring it in, it's gonna make it look shorter. That's why we highlight the very center of the nose, so that now we can go in on the sides of that and make it look more contoured, so that you're bringing up the middle of your nose and down the outsides, and that gives you the appearance that you have a smaller, more pronounced nose. So again, I'm just going to go in back with those two colors that I use for contour, and I'm just going to take this right down the center of the nose. And you want to have a very light hand when you do this, because it can get really intense really quickly, and it's always easier to add more product versus trying to take off product that you've already put on your face. I've had to start completely over on my makeup before because I just hated everything about it, and I felt like I had a big dark mark from my contour on my face, and I felt like I just looked muddy. So I redid my entire face of makeup while everybody was waiting for me to leave. So I would suggest that you start off with a lighter hand so that you don't get put in that situation. Once I'm satisfied with where the color is put down, I'm going to take my brush and I'm just going to take off all of that excess product onto the back of my hand so that the brush is almost clean when we go in and blend everything out. Because right now it's very sharp and you can clearly tell that I put some brown powder on my nose. So I'm just gonna go in and I'm just going to blend everything out. And just make sure that everything looks nice and blended. And you will be able to see that line, but once you do, the rest of your makeup and everything else really blends right in. All right, now that I'm satisfied with all my contour, we're gonna be going in with bronzer. This step is actually crucial if you want to warm up the face. Contour is not meant to warm up your face. It's meant to give you a shadow and give you dimension to your face. All right, so I'm having a little bit of a rough time finding my bronzer brush. So I'm going to go in with this Real Techniques brush that I just had on hand, and it's large, but it's also tapered at the tip, so you're getting the most product directly in the middle of your brush, which is what you're looking for in a bronzer brush. So I'm going to go in with one of my favorite bronzers of all time, also from the drugstore. This is the Butter Bronzer from Physicians Formula, and this bronzer blends so beautifully and has such a gorgeous undertone. This looks like you came right back from a vacation, which is what I'm looking for from my bronzer. So I'm going to just take it and swirl the brush around the product, lightly tap it off so that there's not too much excess on the brush, and I'm just going to take this and lightly warm up the skin. And you really just want to take this basically everywhere that you put your contour, except this is a little bit more over the whole face because this is meant to just warm your skin tone up. And I always just go in over my nose contour without any extra product on the brush. This is just after I distribute the product all over the face, I will lightly go in over my contour and just blend it out just a little bit more. Alright, so now that all of the bronzers and everything are down onto the face, I like to go in at this time and really carve out the face. So I'm going to be doing that by going in with my Coty Airspun powder and my wet beauty sponge. And I'm just going to go in and lightly bake with this. Baking is completely up to you. I know a lot of people are actually afraid to do it, but if you don't leave it on the face for that long and you're very diligent about blending everything together, then it can just really elevate the makeup look. So I'm just going to take this on my wet sponge and go right under that contour line and just draw one line. And do you see how that just went right under it? I'm not trying to go up. I'm not trying to put this anywhere that I feel like it shouldn't belong. I'm just putting this right underneath the contour to clean up that area. See how on this side you have a little bit of extra contour that comes down onto my face? I want to really make that line pronounced. So I'm just going to take it on the other side and lightly carve out the face. I know that a lot of people actually bake underneath their eyes, but for me personally, I have dry under eye areas and it just never looks too natural. It looks like I put on too much product when I do that underneath my eyes. Now, if you want to go in with a lighter powder or a finer milled powder, I would go back in with my Hourglass Veil translucent powder because this one is so beautiful and it doesn't really dry my skin tone out that much. All right, now while that's baking, we're going to go in with our blush. So today I'm going to be using my favorite Buxom Wanderlust Primer Infused Blush. This blush lasts all day long. I mean, you will come back from the bar and you're still gonna have blush on your face. My favorite from the drugstore is the Maybelline Fit Me, but this blush doesn't last all day. I mean, you might need to put this in your purse and bring a little blush brush in your purse also and touch up while you're doing your day-to-day life because this doesn't last forever, but the color is absolutely stunning. This blush from Buxom, you can get this at Sephora. This lasts forever, but make sure to go in with a very, very light hand because it easily gets overdone. And once it's overdone, you're gonna be doing more work trying to get it off your face than when you put it on. So I'm just gonna take my brush and I'm just going to lightly tap my Morphe E4 brush into this, tap off the excess, and very, very lightly, I'm going to go in and put this on the face. You really want to take your time and build this up because this does last forever and it is kind of hard to dial it down once you've put too much on your face already. So I'm just going to start. You want to take the angle of the brush and aim it down and you want to bring all of the product up. You don't want to be swiping down your face because that's just going to make it look like you have rosacea. That's just going to make it look like all of your face is sagging. You really just want everything to go up and be nice and sharp and pronounced. And then once all of the product is distributed, that's when I'm gonna go in and start actually blending everything out. I wanna make sure that the product is where I want it before I start blending. So that's why you go in and you just lightly dab it, and then you start blending after that. All right, so now our bake has been sitting on our face for, I would say, like 5 to 10 minutes at this point. So I'm just gonna go in with my powder brush that I used underneath my eyes initially, and I'm going to lightly take the powder off the face. And you want to make sure that you're not swiping up and blending it in. You want to make sure that you're taking it off the face first with one clean swipe, and then you can start blending out that line. Just one swipe, get all of that powder off, and now that the powder's off, blend it in. And that just gives you such a sharper line on your face without it being overpowering, since we did go back in and blend that line. All right, so now that all of the powders are laid down on the face, I wanna go in with my Morphe setting spray and really just set everything down. When you go in the middle of your makeup, like before we've even done eyes or eyebrows or anything like that, it really just makes those powders set into your face so much more beautifully. So I'm just gonna take this, shake up the bottle, and lightly give my face a little spray. Now, while we wait for that to dry, I'm going to go in and do my eyebrows. I just went and did my eyebrows off camera because, let's be honest, nobody wants to watch me do my eyebrows. So now that all of that setting spray has really dried onto my face, this is when I like to go in and do my highlight, just because it makes it so much more intense if you put down a wet setting spray and then go on top with your highlight. So today I'm going to be using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy highlight, and I think that this was limited edition, but the second that this came out, I just had to go and get it because this is the most beautiful, stunning gold shade of highlight that I've ever owned, and I own a lot of highlight. This is just, I keep going back, and I've been using this for almost a year now, and I've barely made a dent in it because the pan size is absolutely huge, and this is just such a beautiful formula. Alright, so I'm just going to be going in with this tiny little tapered brush and take the product directly on the tip of the brush, swirl it around a little bit, tap it off, and I'm going to be going in, and right on the high point of your cheekbone is where you want to place that highlight. Now, if you're going for a day-to-day highlight look that's not super intense and super beaming, then you might not want to go in with a formula this pronounced. I love this, especially if I'm going out and I want my makeup to stand out all night long. This product is really, truly just so beautiful. And then I take it down the center of the nose also. Let me bring you in a little bit closer and we'll get started on the eyes. All right, now getting started on the eyes, I'm going to be going in with my Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette. This palette has been used and abused. I mean, this is one of my favorite palettes of all time. As you can tell, it's definitely been worn in. So I'm just gonna go in and I'm going to start off with shade right here. So I'm just gonna be going in with something that's close to my skin tone and just placing that color down on the outer edge of my eye. And I'm really just blending this out almost everywhere. I start on the outer edge of my eye so that everything looks like it's coming up, because for my eye shape, that's just more flattering on me. Alright, so next we're going to be going in with a shade that's a little bit darker. I'm going to be going in with this shade right here. And with the same natural haired brush, I'm going to be going in, but I'm going to be a little bit more diligent where I place this shadow. This shadow is going to only go in the corner of my eye, right there. And I'm going to place the product down before I start blending everything out. Alright, so next I'm going to be going in with this tapered brush, and I'm going to be taking a darker color. So I want the dark color to only be in the center of the brush so that I'm able to place the color down and then start blending out. So I'm going to be going in with this shade right here, lightly tapping it in, dabbing the brush off, and then just place that color down. I really want to make sure that I'm getting this right in the outer V because I'm not going to be taking this dark color all over my eyelid. I want this just to darken up the outer corner of the eye. Alright, now that we have that color down, I'm going to go back in with the brush that we started off with, and I'm really just going to blend everything together. This has no additional product on it except for the product that we've already placed on the eye. And I'm just going to blend this out and make sure that everything is nice and seamless. The trick to having the most beautiful makeup look is to just keep on blending. The worst thing for me is when I see someone and they just have sharp lines on their eyes and it just doesn't look very blended. That is my biggest pet peeve. So I go in and I make sure that everything is nice and blended out. And now that I'm satisfied with this, I'm going to go under the eye with a smaller, more precise brush, such as this one. And I'm gonna be going in with the second color that we used right here. Mainly because I don't need to put down that initial color to use for blending, especially underneath your eyes, that light color that's really close to your skin tone, that was the first color that we used on the eyes. That was just so that everything was able to blend out and have something initially down so that we can blend everything together. Underneath your eyes, I don't really think you need to do that. So I'm just going to be taking the second color that we used and I'm gonna put that directly underneath the eye. And just blend all of that together. Now I'm going to be going in with the darker color and taking that only on the outer edge of the under eye. Just making sure that everything is nice and blended together. Alright, now that I'm satisfied with how everything came out, blending wise, I'm going to go in with something a little bit sparklier just to bring some dimension into the eye. Alright, so I'm going to be going in with this shade right here. And I'm just taking this on my finger. And I'm not wetting this product, I'm just placing it down on my eye. Just for a little bit of sparkle. And then I just use my finger to make sure that everything is nice and blended out. Alright, now that that is nice and blended, I'm going to go in and highlight the eyes with this shade right here. And I just take this on the inner corners of the eyes right here. And that just makes everything look a little bit more awake, like you had a full 8 hours of sleep, even if you didn't. And then you take that onto the brow bone. Alright, now I'm going to go do mascara and eyeliner and I will be right back. For my mascara today, I used the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise. This has been one of my go-to ride or dies. I don't purchase mascara from Sephora because I just think that it's overpriced and I don't think that you need to do that. I think that you can find a perfectly good mascara at the drugstore, and once I found this, I really haven't changed it up. And then I went in with the Revlon Colorstay black eyeliner for my top lash line and my bottom lash line. Alright, now that we're done with everything else, it's time to go in with lips, and today I'm going to be using the Kylie Cosmetics lip kit, and I'm going to start off with her lip liner, and I normally overline my lips just a little bit, not enough to look unnatural, but just to give me a little bit more fullness in my lips. And since the Kylie Cosmetics lipstick is actually a little bit more drying, that's why I go in with the lip liner and take it all over the lips so that there's a nice creamy base underneath that this very drying formula. The color on this is just so beautiful, so that I don't care if it's drying just because I love wearing this shade. Now that we're done with everything, I'm going to go in with my Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. This setting spray makes your makeup last absolutely forever. It is a little bit drying, so I wouldn't suggest to use this every single night, but if you have an event to go to or a nice dinner so you want your makeup to look fresh all night long, this is the perfect thing to make it stay. So I'm just going to take this and spray it over the face. Alright guys, that's it for this full glam makeup tutorial that stays all night long no matter what you're doing. Thank you so much for watching, and while you're down there, subscribe and hit that notification bell, and you can follow me on all my other social medias to keep up with me. Thanks.